Do you know how much you earn in consulting? This video is really a juicy one, because in this video I'm going to tell you exactly how much you will earn in consulting if you work for an MBB firm, if you work for Big Four, a Tier 2 management consulting firm, including regional differences in the US, in Germany, in India, and many other countries as well. In addition, I have some precise numbers on how the working hours differ among McKinsey, BCG, Bain, and also all the 4 Big Four firms. So if you're interested in this video is right for you. So welcome to another coffee break here on my channel Firm Learning. I'm Heinrich, I'm a former McKinsey consultant, and on my channel I talk about how to become successful in the first years of your career. So let's address the elephant in the room first. Where do I have all this data from? Because surely this is not data that is easily made available to the public. Here indeed a friend of mine helped me out, Mo Young, who's running Consulting Humor. He surveyed his audience, which, no surprise, consists of lots of consultants, and thousands of people responded providing exact data on what firm they work for, where they work, what their base salary is, what their expected bonuses, and many other information like this. The data was collected about 3 months ago, so very recent and up to date. But before we look at some numbers, let me provide some important remarks for you to understand the data in the best possible way. First, all data is self-reported. People filled out the survey. Of course, this comes with some limitations. The data was not verified in any way. Indeed, I do want to give a shout out to Mo Young from Consulting Humor, who provided and collected all of this. He has a huge Instagram account with lots of consulting comedy and consulting memes, so check him out. I will link his socials below. He also started on YouTube, so help him, give him a subscribe as a thank you for what he did here. I do also want to say that I did only some very limited data cleanup on the whole table of thousands of respondents. So I took out some obvious entry errors, some clear outliers that just were not realistic, but surely there will be some wrong entries left. Of course, last but not least, I personally cannot vouch for any specific data point that I'm sharing. This is what was sent to me in the big table that Mo Young collected here, and it surely was also not verified with any of the large consulting firms. All of this said, I do have a little goodie for you, and this is that I will provide the full unedited data set with thousands of data points, the one that was also sent to me, for you as a download. So you find the download link to this very big and extensive data set in the video description. So if you want to know what people earn for a very specific firm you're interested in a very specific region, just download the big data set. It is in a pivot table friendly format, so getting the insights that you need is pretty straightforward. Let's start with some basic facts about the data set. So as you can see, there are almost 4,000 people who provided their information on which consulting firm they work for. The data set is dominated by people working in MBB or in Big Four, which I guess is no surprise, but which is also the reason why I'm going to focus on these firms in this video. Whenever you talk about salaries, it is important to acknowledge that of course there are very significant regional differences. Also, when working for the same firm, the salary that you will earn if you work in the US or in India or in Germany will significantly change. As you can see here, the data set is biased towards the US. I will show you also some slices of the data with averages per country to make these differences visible as well. Before we jump into salary, let's talk about working hours, because this survey also contained a question on how long on average the people worked in their consulting firm. I visualized this here in this little heat map. So as you can see, besides MBB and Big Four, I also included Accenture, EY, Pantheon, and Strategy Ant. I included these additional ones because those were companies with more than 40 replies. The dataset contains data for many other companies as well. Just feel free to download it, link in video description if you're interested what the numbers are for your specific firm. So as you can see here, for the MBB firms, so McKinsey, BCG, and Bain, they gravitate towards 60 to 69 hours on average in terms of weekly working time. McKinsey seems to be a bit more on the upper end, though the differences do not seem too significant. The Big Four firms do seem to be quite similar, so on average they seem to work a bit less than the MBB firms, with the main range about 40 to 60 hours per week. Accenture seems to be more comparable to the Big Four, and then EY, Pantheon, and Strategy Ant more to the strategy consulting firms, which makes of course sense. From my personal experience, having actually worked at Accenture for about half a year as an intern during university, these numbers do seem very plausible, and the same is true for MBB as well. Obviously, please let me know in the comments whether you agree that this is how your situation looks like if you work for any of these specific firms. But let's now start with the salary data, and let's start with the graduates. So the data for those people who just started their career in consulting, maybe are in the first or second year. To read these tables correctly, we always have the average base salary first, then you have the average bonus. Here the people were asked what their expected bonus was for the last full 12 months. This means that if you're really a high performer who performs above average, you will likely earn even more, but if you perform below average, your bonus might be smaller than this. It is worthwhile to notice though that in some countries, in some firms, you get also additional compensation components. This might for instance be a company car, which is very common in Germany, or might also be for instance health insurance benefits or other insurance benefits. Last but not least, on the right you can see how the total compensation compensation differs by US, India and Germany. I chose these 3 countries because from my audience analytics I know that these are the countries with the most viewers here on the From Learning channel. So trust you can read the numbers for yourself. Feel free to pause the video for some additional seconds to process all the data. When looking at the total compensation of the MBB firms, you will see that these are rather similar, here with one outlier, Bain. So as you can see, it's only 8 data points. I looked into the raw data here. The main reason is that there are lots of people from India. So if you look at the total compensation by country, you can see that then for the individual countries, the compensation is quite similar indeed. Same is true for the Big Four. So the compensation values are rather similar, with KPMG being a negative outlier. Here once again, lots of people from Asia replying here for KPMG. If you look at the country split, you can again see that the Big Four salaries are rather similar here on the entry level. By the way, when a number is missing in the country split, this just means that I only had a handful of data points. I felt this was then just not valid to include. Though if you're interested in it, again, you can download the full unfiltered data set via the link in the video description to then look at this data as well. Next, let's look at the salary data for young professionals. So people being in consulting for about 1 to 3 years or so. Again, you can read all the numbers for yourself. There's one thing though that I would like to stress, especially for the MBB firms, so McKinsey, BCG, Bain, and this is their leave program. So in almost all regions, these MBB firms will offer you an opportunity to, after 2 or 3 years or so, take a break from consulting to pursue an MBA or a PhD or similar relevant project. These contributions can easily be worth 1 or 2 additional annual salaries. So from everything I understand, the value of these leave programs is not properly factored into the salary data here, but I do know that the attractiveness of these leave programs differed significantly also within the MBB firms, which was also one of the reasons why then I decided to join the firm which you know I joined. So make sure to research properly what this leave program looks like, and here also be aware that even within the same firm, depending on the region, these programs can look quite differently. Last but not least, the salaries for more seasoned consultants. So for the project leads, you will typically reach this level after 3 to 5 years or so, depending on how fast you get promoted and on what level exactly you started. At this level, the salary gap of working at McKinsey or BCG compared to Bain does slowly start to seem to open up, whereas on the Big Four end, it does seem to still be quite homogeneous. Overall, when looking at the regional trends, we can see that the US salaries are highest, though these of course do also come with likely the highest living costs if you're based in coastal cities on the East Coast or the West Coast. Then you have the situation in Germany. Probably comparing Germany to some other countries in the EU, Germany likely is on the upper end of the salaries that you will get. So if you work for instance in Spain or Italy, your salaries are likely going to be a little bit smaller. Again, you can look at this yourself in the full data set. And then of course salaries in India and also some other Asian countries will be significantly lower. So I do hope you found this insightful. Now I would love to hear from you in the comments. Based on your experience, are these numbers accurate? If you took any value out of this video at all, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on all the content. Also big shout out to Consulting Humor for putting all of this together. I trust the dataset is extremely insightful. If you want to download the full thing, link to it in the video description. A big thank you to all the members supporting this channel. My name is Heinrich from Learning. I release new videos every single Saturday. So see you soon again next week. Until then, bye bye.